Welcome, monitored citizens, to the Majority Report, where breaking news is broken and truth lies between the headlines. In this week's top headlines, Cloudflare went down this week, taking half the internet with it. Banking apps froze, websites vanished, group chats went missing. Experts say it was a service disruption, which means someone moved a lot of traffic very quickly and pretended it tripped. Funny how outages always coincide with one thing: large-scale back-end reroutes and quiet infrastructure rearrangement. Which brings us to tonight's question: why are governments suddenly obsessed with atmospheric monitoring and air quality sensors? Several biotech firms quietly filed new patents this week for aerosol-delivered receptor-binding particles, which is the polite scientific way to say mood mist. And totally unrelated, governments everywhere are also talking a lot about particulate exposure, respiratory compliance, and long-term atmospheric health. Pure coincidence? Obviously. Vaguely recall overhearing the GOD stating that nanoparticles would eventually become environmental tools for security operations. Aerosolized tracers, pulmonary neuromodulators, particulate biometric sensors. Now it's all being mass-produced under the brand name public health. Scientists also announced major advances this week in inhalable nanoparticle drug delivery. Nanoparticles that ride the air directly into the bloodstream. It could be great for respiratory illnesses, also great for anyone who prefers their chemistry delivered without consent forms. Physicists published a breakthrough in simulating exactly how nanoparticles travel through open air. Wind, pressure, turbulence, which is now mathematically predictable. Excellent for pollution modeling, also extremely convenient for anyone planning precision dispersal. Global investment in air quality sensor networks surged again this quarter. Smart cities are now mapping particulate movement block by block. They call it environmental protection. Engineers call it a live, city-scale respiratory telemetry grid. Medical journals also report expanded use of inhaled nanomaterials for neurological and respiratory applications. Tiny carriers with big behavioral effects. Still therapeutic, still legal, still carefully regulated. Which is always how dual-use technology starts. In seemingly unrelated news, the FBI reopened the pipe bomb case this week and the internet immediately lost its mind. Meanwhile, wild conspiracies erupted and half the country thinks there's missing footage. Of course there is. Everything important has missing footage. Right, then. But while everyone argued about that, almost no one noticed a quieter trend. A global spike in atmospheric nanoparticle purchases by defense subcontractors. Not classified, not secret, just buried in procurement spreadsheets where no one ever looks. In more seemingly unrelated news, global food prices dipped this week. Great news, except governments immediately used the distraction to roll out more digital ID trials, which, according to system engineers, are failing because of, wait for it, energy constraints. Right. The end built a panopticon that literally costs more joules than the grid can produce. So the question becomes, if the digital leash keeps failing, what's the analog backup plan? Enter the Pixies, government-affiliated dispersion personnel with handheld aerosolizers. Imagine Tinkerbell, but funded by DARPA, and blowing nanoparticles instead of glitter through straws. And this has absolutely nothing to do with why atmospheric monitoring data is suddenly classified. You don't classify weather in the atmosphere unless you're changing it. Right. Biotech companies are patenting mood-modulating aerosols. After military research into aerosolized sensors and neuromodulators have been tested on soldiers. And while the world fixates on geopolitics, sports, and celebrity nonsense, the air becomes the new interface. So if you suddenly feel unusually calm, or anxious for no reason, angry, fatigued, or mysteriously paranoid, it might be a particulate neurointerface drifting through the air like pollen. Totally hypothetically speaking. The End calls it public safety, while tech companies call it disruptive innovation. Intelligence agencies used to call them incapacitating agents or mood mist. Right then, this is Sue signing off. Cheers!